Good morning, folks. Another gorgeous day. A mere smattering of clouds. Otherwise, crystal clear blue sky, bright sun. Really ought to pitch in, folks. Courtesy of our good hosts, Mother Nature. Good morning, Ghost. You're the first one in. Welcome. So we're gonna do a short drive today. I got a late start. Heading to town. I gotta stop at Colby's studio, and then I have some photos and videos to prepare. Show you tonight on AG Today. These photos start about a year ago. When Gary Edelman so kindly invited me to be a part of the video that he's been making for the 30th anniversary of the battle through the American Battlefield Trust. And, I promised I wouldn't release them, I wouldn't show anything until the videos start coming out. It's a super duper top secret mission that we were on. I was glad to be a part of it. We had a lot of fun taking the actors to the locations where they filmed their iconic scenes. And so I've got some photos and some videos of that. Gary Edelman will be on the phone tonight. So will John Pinkerton, who is the owner of pretty much all of the memorabilia, uniforms, other things like that from the movie. And then Bo will be in the studio, as will Andrew Dalton. And yes, it will be fun. A happy McNair to you as well, Ty. Good morning. No, it's not the Friday morning drive. We are on schedule with the day to know exactly where we are. I did have to check, though, just to make sure. Even though I knew it was Thursday, I just want to make sure it actually was Thursday. So, here we are. Good morning to you, Michael. Dolls Are Evil, good morning to you as well. Dolls Are Evil, what's with the name? Where does that come from? Dolls Are Evil. Good morning, Edward. Morning, Fraser. How are you? How's your tossed salad and scrambled eggs? Scrambled eggs. I'm not very talkative. I'm trying to think of something to say. Oh, anyway, well, so I started telling you that Bo and Andrew Dalton are going to be in the studio. Gary and John will be on the phone. We're going to talk about last weekend, recap all the fun that we had, and see if anybody has any memories or anything. Debbie also was there as a, oh, that's what it is. There's a Chinook that just flew overhead. I was like, I thought there was something wrong with one of my tires because I heard like a, and I was like, what the hell is that? And then I just saw a Chinook. Okay, so yeah, so we're gonna come on and reminisce. We had a lot of fun. Everybody had fun. Everybody had fun. It was a nice time. It seems the actors had a nice time. And that's a testament to the planning that went into all of this with Andrew and Gary and their teams. And just really, really like a well-oiled machine. Where am I going? I don't know. Morning, Andy. Morning, Dustin. We'll go out to the First Days Field. That's where we'll go. Via the Mummersburg Road. You know, there's always a debate over certain words. Is it Geddes or Geddes? Is it Mummersburg or Mummersburg? I mean, well, my argument is, well, what do you call the farm at Antietam? Well, that's the Mumma farm. Yeah, says who? Isn't it M-U-M-M? That should be Mumma. Mumma would be M-U-M. Well, but that's how the family said it. What the hell does the family know? You know, these are the conversations we have. By the way, it does seem that the more leaves are starting to change, although not a lot, and I doubt we're going to have perfect foliage for Saturday. I haven't looked at the forecast, but if it's nice like this, it'll be nice. It's 47 degrees now, but it's not yet 10 o'clock. Hopefully it'll be a nice day like today. We have, we'll be presenting the Listener of the Year on Saturday with a very special trophy chosen based on either the theme of the year, just the thing that everybody was talking about. Like last year it was the beavers, and so a Stella Listener of the Year, and got a beaver skin hat that she wears with pride. And so that was last year. This year, the trophy is more specific to the recipient. That's the other way. Because this year, I don't recall there being that much of a theme that everybody was talking about. Perhaps I should have actually, now that I think about it, it's the 30th anniversary of the movie, and the movie is very special to all of us. Probably should have gotten a trophy that was more of a movie related thing, or film industry related thing. But, you know, I'll wait for the 60th anniversary, or the 50th. A question came up. I was talking to somebody, I forget who. And they said, do you think there will be a 35th? And I said, well, I hope we don't overdo it. Although the 25th seems like decades ago already. So maybe 5 years isn't that soon. But, you know, you gotta juggle, because, you know, a lot of these guys are, you know, getting up there in age. So you know, will they be able to attend? Or two, will they be able to be reached, because are they still going to be with us? And so maybe you do have a 35th, you know, just to you know, see everybody again. I don't know. I think the 30th, you know, it was a big deal. Everybody came out. A lot of people came out, very enthusiastic. But it was the 30th. You know, the 25th was not a big to-do. We had a screening of the movie, but it wasn't a whole weekend planned. So this had a lot more going on. But I don't know I don't know if doing a 35th would have the same reaction because now it's becoming like old hat, you know. I mean, it's not my decision. We were just having this discussion. It was an interesting thing to discuss. But I don't know. We shall see. Well, you don't have to stop. You could just. There you go. Morning, BKW. Ty says, everybody had fun, but did everybody Wang Chung that night? Not everybody. There was some Wang Chunging going on at the Farnsworth house and prior to the Farnsworth house, but not everybody. Not everybody, Ty. Well, what are you doing? There's nothing to see here. God bless America. Charles, I grew up with a family which pronounced it Muma. Well, they're wrong. Tell them, Charles. The McNair Award. The McNair Award should be a new award that we award for prolific commenters, although McNair isn't a prolific commenter, but, you know, we got to put a positive spin on McNair. Because we don't want to encourage people to be nasty. Like, you know, the McNair Award should be AG fans who troll the Battle of Gettysburg podcast online. But we don't want to do that. That's not what we do. I get that from their people. They don't encourage that, but their people tend to seem to like to do that. But we don't do that. We don't do that. So we don't want to put negativity and bad vibes out into the world, man. So we can't have the McNair Award be something for, you know, a troll on behalf of addressing Gettysburg. That's what it should be, but that can't be. So we have to put a positive spin on it. And what would that be? What would that positive? Well, maybe it's not a troll on behalf of addressing Gettysburg, but an advocate on behalf of addressing Gettysburg. Someone who prolifically shares links and comments on Civil War discussions and recommends addressing Gettysburg. And then when people say that guy Matt is an ass or whatever McNair said, you go back and say, actually, he is a saint on earth, things like that. And, you know, and then, you know, of course, you have to document it so that we know, because or tag us or whatever, because we're not going to see that. But maybe that's it. Maybe next year will be the first McNair Award given, and that's who the McNair Award recipient will be. I think I need to start doing some kind of incentives like that, because that's what we need. We need advocates out there online sharing things. That's really how people that get big. It's not from buying ads. It's not. That's bullshit. No, it's from their listeners. Their listeners promote them. And I never really ask you guys to do that, because honestly, it makes me uncomfortable. It's kind of like pathetic, I think. Can you guys share my links? But everybody does it. That's the way it's done. And everybody looks pathetic. So I guess it's okay if I look pathetic too, and say, guys, can you guys like share my links and like say nice things and everything, and you know. So maybe that'll be the McNair Award. But first we have to really properly introduce. This is how it's done. So I'm giving you a little inside baseball here. We have to properly introduce McNair. Now, he was organically introduced to us. The term McNair. Jesus, this is like the fourth show we're talking about McNair. We're going to end it after this. All right, so organically, McNair comes into our world. The term to McNair, or have been McNaired, enters our lexicon, along with Alderson Broderson. And as I recall, I emptied my kazoo. And we, okay, great. Now, but you guys are not the wider audience. I'll give you an example. Our history shows get thousands of downloads. These shows, and AG Today, After a while, they'll maybe hit 1,000, but very few of them actually go to 2,000 or greater. Because people that watch us in the majority are watching for the history. They're not watching for the fun and the culture of it all. They don't care about the whole, community and all that stuff. So the greater audience is not aware of McNair. And now I have to introduce it to the rest of the audience in a way that doesn't feel crowbarred. And so in other words, it has to feel more organic. So probably McNair calling in and basically, saying what he said on Monday about the Martin Sheen prank would probably be the best way to do it, because then those not in the know wouldn't know any better, and then me and McNair get into a little scuffle, and then the term, maybe then some of you guys call. That's the thing, is you all aren't really into calling, which is kind of a disappointment for me, because I don't want to read comments. It slows the momentum of the show down, and it distracts everybody else because they're all reading the comments. And I think I would rather people call in, but we're not in that world anymore. People don't like talking on the phone. Okay, we don't do that then. But that would be good if the people called in and then said, oh, we should use the term McNair. But again, you got to kind of be a little bit of an actor to make that believable, and we're not actors. What about Little Round Top being closed? That was talked about quite a bit. Nah, that was talked about more last year leading up to the closing. Once it was closed, it was closed. And there was really no controversy over it. If anything, the controversy was jackasses sneaking up there because I came all the way from Kenosha and I'm going to show my son, by God, because the first time I came here, my father showed me, and I'm going to pass on the tradition, by God, and that's what we're going to do, by God. And, that's really not anything. It's not like the Beavers. But no, I think when you see the award, you see the recipient, you're going to be like, that makes sense. That makes total sense. Grant says, we all know addressing Gettysburg is the best. You may, but the rest of the world needs to know, you see? That's why. Listen, let me put it to you like this. I'm sure you follow some sports team or athlete or political pundit, and you're constantly sharing that jackass's shit. And what true value do they add to society? Somebody running after a ball, woohoo, BFD. Somebody throwing toxicity out into the public discourse with politics. That's not good. That helps no one except for their pockets. So really, let's start advocating for grassroots people who made something out of nothing, and let's help them along. That's really what you should all be doing. You don't need to. You don't need, the news networks don't need your help sharing shit. I once heard Dennis Fry pronounce it Muma, and he claims relation. Yeah, I don't care. Grammatically, double M makes it mama. So, and I don't care how they pronounce it in the old country. We're not in the old country. We don't speak the old language. Unless Muma is English. Then I stay corrected. Good morning, Carbine. How are you? Grant says, who the hell is this McNair? Apparently Grant has not been following along this week. McNair is the newest star in the Addressing Gettysburg universe, vying for first place in the hearts of listeners with Cameron, believe it or not. Ty says, we need a moratorium on McNair. Not McNair the person, but the discussion. I agree. I think it's time that we move on. Although I must say, I had fun with McNair, the person and the subject. He and I have been emailing. Contrite for the criticism. He was contrite for the harshness. I was like, I don't really care. Like, it's you. Before you put yourself out there, you have to steel yourself, gird your loins, for, if you will, for that type of stuff. Because the minute you put yourself out there, you're open to that, and people are not going to hesitate to do it. People don't have a conscience online. So, McNair is not the first. He won't be the last. He wasn't the harshest. But, so we had fun with McNair. Andy says, I tend to send specific episode links to people who I think will like a topic you cover. There you go. Like the one on mules. We did one on mules? I sent it to a farmer who has a mule and a love for the Civil War. As an example, that's a perfect example, Andy. There you go. Now, a lot of you may be saying, well, I don't have friends who are interested in history, and I don't have friends who have mules. Well, not many people do, folks. That's an example. Not many people interested in history. I think I've told you the story plenty of times to my friend back home who always said history is boring, and he's the guy I think about when I do this stuff. And the big thing with him was history's boring, but he was always watching the History Channel when they showed history shows. And so that just got me thinking that, okay, he doesn't dislike history. He needs it to be presented to him like a child needs it to be presented to him. Fun, bells and whistles, sound effects, all that stuff. So, everybody has a Jay. That was his name, Jay, and that is still his name. He's not dead. He's alive. Everybody has a Jay in their life who says history's boring or whatever. Well, this is the show for them. You're always nagging them. Come to Gettysburg with me. You'll love it. Well, maybe you find a show that you think will relate to them and get them to open their eyes and ears and mind to learning about this very important chapter of Merkin history. I'm not going to go down into the valley of cell phone signal death because, well, I don't want to lose signal, and I probably still will at one point over by the Trossel farm, but I also have to get to Colby Studio. I got things I need to do, so I have to do a shorter show. That's right. Part the ways. Grant says AG today will get a bigger audience after last week. Why? What was last week? Gene says McNair could be a new curse word instead of saying, I like that. McNair? McNair it? Go McNair yourself. What's that McNairing thing on the table? Get the McNair away from me. I like that. That's a good idea, Gene. Maybe I'm gonna try to do that on the show, because sometimes I do curse and I don't like that, because I know people watch with their kids and they may not care, but I think it's tasteless to curse in front of kids. To, instead of curse, say McNair. And what did you try? Well, you guys, show now. Well, that's fine. You can still listen to it. Oh, I see. Again, calling. Okay, I'm sorry. It's hard to keep track of where you are in the conversation because I get so ahead of myself. Matt, going in on those from Wisconsin. No, just that one guy from Kenosha. Kevin says, finally realized where I'd heard the McNair name before. By Sheriff Buford Pusser. Never heard of him. It's a good name, though. It's actually called McNairy County, and yes, I've been there. Andy says, I actually don't follow anything other than Addressing Gettysburg. You are a smart man. You are a smart man, Andy. Maybe you'll get Listener of the Year. If you keep that up, next year you'll get Listener of the Year if you make it out to a tour. Is there still a delay when you call in and try to have a conversation? Yeah, Gene. So the reason there's a delay is because it's not a direct phone line like plugged into the wall. It's a program on a website called Call In Studio. And you get an account, you sign up, you get, your phone number, you get a show number and a password that you sign into, and people call that number, and there's a queue, and there's like a, greeting message, and you can leave voicemail there, all this stuff you could do. But because it's over the internet, and then I call into a number on my cell phone. So the listener is hearing the caller through the Bluetooth channel on my mixing board, okay? That is connected to my phone, right? My phone is called into that number. These other people, the callers, they've called into a different number that somehow talks to this number. I control everything through the interface on the website, so I pick up and hang up calls that way. And so it's got to go from, let's say, when I say hello, it goes hello through the phone into the internet, then through the internet to the caller's ear. And then, so there's the delay. It's a few seconds, but it's annoying. And then the caller answers back, and that's why we often step over each other. It's hard for everybody to remember, and I also don't remind them enough that there is a delay, and when a caller comes on, our normal flow of conversation needs to be, I can only think of one word, but people think it's a bad word to say, but I'm thinking in musical terms. It needs to be retarded. It needs to be slowed. Which I think that's spelled with an I instead of an E, so retard. But yeah, it needs to be slowed. Look it up, it's a musical term. So that we don't step on each other and step on the caller. But not enough people call in, so everybody falls out of practice with it. Ghost, it's Maori, M-O-W. Dr. James, good morning, Matt. Good morning to you, Dr. James. Grant, Matt, you should be proud that you created this from nothing. I am. So much so that people like me overseas don't miss a show. I love that you take the history seriously but have fun. I appreciate that. Thank you, Grant. And may I say, good day, mate. I'm glad you see it that way, and I'm glad, obviously, enough people do that I have the audience as big as I have, because there are people who think I don't take the history seriously because I have fun with it. But I wonder, I'm like, well, what do they think about the guides that we have on the show that have fun with us? I mean, Charlie Fennell is like one of the funniest guides, one of the funniest people you'll ever meet. And everybody loves Charlie. I don't know anybody who, oh, please, you hear people all the time criticizing this guide, and I don't like that guide because he did this or that or the other thing. But you never hear an ill word against Chaz Fennell. And because he's a nice guy, he's a fun guy, he's a funny guy. He's like a mushroom, he's a fun guy. And yeah. And he's well respected. So, again, the people that think just because you have fun with taking history seriously, I'm sorry to say, but they're just a bunch of McNairs. They're McNairians. They're from the McNairian race. But thank you for saying that, Grant. I am proud of that. And he says, that reminds me, days are dull. without the soothing tones of Matt's silky radio voice. Thank you kindly. I would just listen to the narratives over and over again. I put well, 2 episodes, but one of them has 3 parts. I put all the parts of episodes 1 and 2 together into one big, long, 3-hour snooze fest. And for those of you who might be wondering, there is an episode 3 for July 1st, and there will be a July 2nd and 3rd and aftermath episode. Once I can find the time to sit down and do it. But I have to say, praise be to Cindy, because blending our lives together is making me more calm and focused, and it's a good move. And I think I might be, once I get settled in, because I still haven't finished moving, once I get settled in, I think I might be able to start working on it. I don't know. It's tough. I really don't have a lot of time anymore. And then in the winter, my time will be even more scarce. And writing takes focus and time, and yeah, we'll see. Busy day at Gettysburg Tours. Good to see. Good to see. Wish I had worked in royalties. Who wears short shorts? McNair wears short shorts. That's right. Where is McNair today? Hustler was sheriff in the movie Walking Tall, which is based on a real guy. Walking Tall. Who's in that? That's not a Clint Eastwood movie, is it? Who is that? Walking Tall. It sounds familiar. Ty says, my dad still uses the words he made up to avoid cussing in front of us. We act more shocked when he says those than when he actually cusses. So that's funny. My dad was I think I get this don't curse in front of kids thing from my dad. He would react. We always got a kick out of it, because it's not like we hadn't heard people curse before. And we got the point. He doesn't want us cursing. But as recently as like 5 or 7 years ago, my dad and I were talking about, I forget what, I don't know, it doesn't even matter, but it was something that got him worked up, and he said the F word, and immediately said, "Oh, sorry." And I'm like, Dad, I'm 38 years old. Like, I can handle the F word. I've said a lot worse. And there's something nice about that, It's a respectful thing. But that's completely lost. Now people curse on the floors of Congress. They curse on cable news now. It takes the fun out of cursing if you can curse everywhere and anywhere. Doesn't anybody get this? Cursing is supposed to be fun. God damn it. Gene says, I'd call into AG today, but I'm not a particularly interesting person. Well, to call in is not to be interviewed. To call in is to add your thoughts on something we're discussing. Anything about the Beavers in the first segment, and you call in and we don't get to you, and we go to break. I see you there. I know you're in there, but we have to go to the break, right? So we go to the break. But I am going to get back to you usually at the top of the next break, because it's a callback to the previous break. But some people get impatient, or they think, oh, I guess they don't want to take me, and they hang up. Don't hang up until you're answered. And if you've ever decided that you don't want to call in because you don't want to miss the show, you can hear the show, and you actually hear it before everybody else does a little bit, because there is no internet delay. Well, there's the internet delay on the phones, but the YouTube delay is a little longer. I forget how long that delay is, but there's a bit of a delay on that. Anyway, yeah. So I mean, just call in and discuss things. Discuss your thoughts. Estella Beard said in the comments last week when Veronica, it was her last show. She said, "I would call in, but I want to cry." I saw her on Friday, and I said, "Estella, you got to call in. If you're going to cry, that's when we need you to call. That's what we want. We want crying. We want real moments." So, and I think it would make a better show to have you guys in there, because look, I'm reading your comments. I discuss these things with you guys every day. You're some pretty funny, insightful people. So, let's hear your voice. I'm less apt to read the comments on the live show because it's a different format. There's supposed to be an energy in the room, and frankly, and I got to tell everybody, I'll tell Colby to monitor the comments back in the office, but everybody in the studio, focus on what we're talking about and stop looking at the comments. Because the impulse is, the minute you see the comment, is to interrupt and read the comment. But then that throws, I know what I'm doing. I know how to orchestrate things. And so that throws off the flow that I'm working on. And I let it go. I don't say anything about it. But, so I can't complain. And he says, "Oh, I'm not either, Gene. I wanted to finally get on the show, but had a lot to get done and had to go before they got to my call." Well, Andrew, I'll say this. The show is once a week. Your family's going to be there for the rest of your life. They can wait. Grant says, "One of the best episodes was Tim and Gary doing the history of the park and also making fun of each other at the same time." Yeah, I know. That's the epitome of what AG is all about. I agree. Thank you. It's also the epitome. Those narrative episodes are worth the wait. Do it when you can. Thank you, Grant. It's been a 3-year wait, 2-year wait, something like that. You know what I didn't anticipate? I should have written the whole story all at once first, but then I never would have started the show. Because the first 2 episodes, I had the time, because the show had not become everything it is now. It was, at the time, pretty much on the schedule that someone who does a podcast as a hobby would do it on. So, whenever I got around to it and blah, 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 blah. But as it started to grow and people started to coalesce around it and help out with it, I was able to do more things. Then we had the tours. Then we had live shows, in-person shows. Then we started AG Today. And suddenly, I don't have time to actually do the work behind the scenes on the shows. So I kind of did that to myself. Not on purpose, but did it to myself nonetheless. And I've really been struggling the last 2 years just to get it so that I can have the time to do it. So we'll see. But I'll get to it eventually. This is why I keep winning the lottery, because I need to hire a staff to do 90% of the things I do so that I can focus on this stuff. So, send lottery tickets. Marie says, "Good morning." I say morning as well. Gene says, "I'm coming to my first Get Out of the Car tour on Saturday." Oh, great, Gene. Dragging hubby along too. Fantastic. Make sure you say hi and let me know who you are. Because people go, "Oh, the tour was great," or "Oh, this was great." And I'm like, why don't you say hi? Because now I still don't have a face to the name. So, yeah, that'd be great if you did that. Marie is going to be there as well. Kundi will be there. Dragoon says, "Folks shouldn't get the sand in their ho-ho by thinking you don't take Gettysburg seriously." Yeah, well, it's yeah, I agree. You can't spend as much time doing this as I do and not take it seriously. You can't uproot your life and move here to do the show and not take it seriously. Joe Don Baker in Walking Tall. Joe Don Baker, I don't know him. Bo Svensson in the suit. Who the hell are these people you're talking about? I've never heard of either of these guys. Bo Svensson? Never heard of him. All right. Walking Tall is a good movie. Hope to meet you too, Marie, says Gene. Marie says, I swear like a sailor. Me too. Rich Snyder says, Matt, your previous narratives were great. Well-produced, the music, the sound effects, the flow, the storytelling. Can't wait for the next chapters. Me neither. I wish I could just snap my fingers and make them so. My favorite part is the editing. I hate editing, but my favorite part is editing those because, I love the idea. I don't know if I do it well, but I love the idea of crafting a story and painting a picture with sound effects and words. People are like, oh, I wish there were visuals to this. And someday I'm going to go back and add visuals to them if I can find somebody who's willing to do it. But I still believe in the human mind and imagination, and I think theater of the mind is far more powerful than any image that I could create. And so, for those people out there, I think that's why my audience skews older, because they still know how to use their imaginations. Whereas some younger people do, but it's because they had good influences in the adults around them, and they taught them, the importance of not being on a goddamn computer all the time, and real life. But it feels like, I don't know if that's true or not, but it feels like those are few and far between. Gene says, I'd come to every tour, but I'm about 300 miles away. That is quite an obstacle there. Kevin says, yes, Rich, where 300 miles away, where? Yes, Rich, and that was 1973, the best version. Anyway, he was a real guy, and there are historical markers in McNairy County, Tennessee, commemorating his life. Grant says, call in, Gene. I was nervous too, but it was fun. Grant, you're good because you're a ball buster. Not that you have to be a ball buster to call in, but if you are a ball buster, we have fun with you guys. So, yeah, that was good. And a ball buster in an Australian accent is even better. Marie says, when I did call for the Saberhood show, I sounded like crap. Well, nobody thought that. But you are like everybody else who hears their voice played back to them. They all have that reaction. Unless you're a ham like me, you don't. You go, oh, how do I make that sound better? And then you work on that. Yeah, Andy, absolutely. We should have a larger staff. We should have a larger staff. It's just me and Major Taylor there. Major Taylor being Dave. Marcia, good morning, Matt. Have a great day. How did Major make out at the veterinarian? Oh, very good. Clean bill of health. She's going to get spayed next month. And, yeah, that's it. Getting spayed. Marie, are you close to Gettysburg? I think you posted that you were 2 to 3 hours away. Marie says, yeah, we live an hour from State College. Gene says, I was too chicken to say hi to you at the CHS book sale, but I'll put on my big girl pants this time. Well, I'll come along and say hi to everybody because I give out free stickers at the tours. So you won't have to approach me. I'll approach you as you arrive. So don't worry about it. Kevin's 6 hours away. He says, Matt, see if you can locate the original Walking Tall movie with Baker. It's worth the watch. All right, I'll try. Wade says, don't need a visual if listener has imagination. Amen. Andy says, Marie, I live 15 minutes from State College. Nice to see someone from my little part of PA. Ty says, I'll be there Saturday. Oh, good, Ty. Nice. but I'm going to tell everyone I'm McNair. I'm picturing an I'm Spartacus moment where everyone joins in. It would be great. McNair said that he might try to come out to an event. He didn't say which one, but I said you're more than welcome to, and I'm sure everybody would like to meet you. Marie says she's laughing at high. Jean says Byron, New York, up in Western. Okay, so you're up there. Maybe we all get to meet one day, Andy. Well, that's why we do tours. That's why we do live shows. That's why we do Christmas parties. It's so that everybody gets to meet. I think we'll have a lot more fun that way. It's not just that you're passively listening to a podcast. You're actually becoming part of a group of people. And then when World War III starts, we'll have our own militia. Kevin says, Matt, I'm in the Finger Lakes district of upstate New York, due north of Gettysburg by about 400 miles. Hoofa. It's so pretty up in upstate New York. It's too bad you're attached to New York City. It's a really beautiful state. And the dope's in Albany. But other than that, it's a really beautiful state. And the only thing is I'm not really interested in experiencing your winters. I would not want to do that. Dressing up as McNair for Halloween. I think we should all dress as McNair for Halloween. I think we should all guess, because we don't know. We should all guess what McNair does for a living and dress as that. And then we'll take a picture. And if McNair, then we'll show it to McNair. And if somebody gets it right, then he secretly contacts that person and gives them, $20. I'm just volunteering McNair's money. Andy says, I'll keep you posted when we start events at Curtin Village, since I give tours there or events there. We're working on saving the buildings there. That'd be good, Andy. I'll tell you now, when I say I'll try to get there, I totally mean it. The reality of it is I never can get anywhere. Our buddy Cameron has been working an hour away in Baltimore at Fort McHenry, and I was like, I've always wanted to go there. Now I have a reason. Me and Veronica were always like, oh, we'll go down one weekend. We never went, and this is his last weekend coming up. And he's like, y'all didn't come down this year. You make me cry. And I feel bad because we genuinely meant we want to go. It's just with what time? They need to add more days to the week, like Catil's Day or something, or something. I don't know. Kevin says, winters are too long here, but I'm closer to Gettysburg than New York City. That city is supposed to be in New Jersey. It should be detached from the continent and floated out to sea, if only that's how islands work. All right, so I got to get going here. Marie says, Matt, you do a great Cram impersonation. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. It'd be really something to have Cameron do a tour of that place. Yeah, I don't think they let him do the tours. I think they just tell him to point to the bathrooms and go out on kayaks. But yeah, I love when he does it with the megaphone. Cam calling in. Yeah, I wish I came up with that megaphone bit, but that's not mine. I stole that. Anyway, I gotta go. If I could do a good Cam voice, I'd call in as Cam. Maybe we could have a contest. I gotta come up with a prize that people would be willing to call in to try to get. But maybe call in, you do it in the privacy and safety and quiet of your own home. You record it and send it in, and then we'll play it, and then we'll judge with the audience's help. And then the winner will get a prize, like a gift certificate to something or something like that. And we would just have, we'll give you a line, like we'll, be like buffalo. Buffalo, they're just like a regular cow, only with more fur. But with more fur. I have it on the wall. I made a sign out of it, put it on the wall in the studio. So maybe we'll have you do that. And then everybody calls in and says the same thing. And then you could vamp too. You could, say the same thing, but if you want to go hog wild on it, go hog wild. Make it a wheelbarrow for a prize. Oh, that's cool. I like that little miniature wheelbarrow, like a bronzed wheelbarrow. All right. Well, very good. All right, I got to get going, folks. The day's getting away from me. I'll see you tonight at 5:30 on AG Today. Star-studded cast tonight, talking about the anniversary weekend. Love you guys. Thank you very much. And listen to Ghost there. Let's make Addressing Gettysburg trend on YouTube. Share, like, share. Go through all the videos. You got to watch them, I think, for 30 seconds. Like and share them. I know liking and sharing all of them is going to get annoying for your people on Facebook, but whatever. Like them. Comment. Even if the comment's like, wow, just comment. That makes the algorithm go up. Maybe what we'll do is we'll plan it. We'll get we'll promote for a month that we're going to have a day of algorithm fluffing. And, we're going to pick a day and we're going to promote it for a month. And then on that day, everybody go and just watch a bunch of videos for 30 seconds and then click the like button and leave a comment. And people will be like, YouTube is going to be like, wow, what's going on here? And they'll start suggesting it more. Alderson brought us into all of you, and may McNair be with you. Goodbye.